Welcome back to Nino Kuni 2.
Episode 105, Cruella de Vil Strikes Back.
No,
Can you feel that,
let's
man?
stop.
Buzzing it is. Time to get materialising, I reckon.
Alright, let's give it a try. You know, I remember when we had a climatic battle here. Almost like it was yesterday.
A set of cutlery.
A set of cutlery.
A set of knives and forks. Oh, let's do this 1,000 degrees style.
Cutlery? Fucking so flipping cutlery?
No, seriously.
Lofty, we're trying to keep this game Peggy 12. Come on.
Well, technically,
Well, I
you
suppose
can
it's
say
all
the
kind of
F word
nonsense.
once. You can say
Maybe
the
a
F word
quarter
once
to
in
people
one
in
of
it.
those.
One man's trash is another man's treasure and all of that.
Shall we
There you
take
go,
it to
see,
the
Lofty?
conductor and see what he has to say?
There you go. See, Lofty? That's the way you have to look at it.
Seriously.
Okay, that bit of dialogue makes Lofty come off as bipolar or something. Like he's yelling and then he's calm all of a sudden.
Seriously though, Lofty, try
Well, he's
heating.
like you.
I'm not bipolar.
No, I mean acting. Like as in,
okay.
Anyway.
Another key, I see. This will open a new door for sure.
Evan, why do I get the feeling he's just having us go through this over and over for his own amusement?
Oh, he wouldn't be
Well,
much different from other NPCs then.
Lofty, I'm afraid you missed my point. I specifically told you that this is all about defeating the nightmares. Anyway, knives and forks, who'd have thought it? And a pair of each to boot. Such things often appear in pairs, you know.
And how do we know you're not the nightmare?
Oh, wouldn't
Well,
that
just-
be quite an amazing twist?
Well, no time to dwell on why. The nightmares attacks are getting worse. We need to act before it's too late for whoever's memories we'll be visiting next.
The nightmare in that last memory lane almost had Nella under its control, which means they're getting closer to the High Higgledies too.
Well, cutlery from a lost continent. I can't wait to see where this leads.
Seriously,
there you go,
though.
Your theory might be right.
Seriously though, heat up a knife to about 1,000 degrees. It does wonders.
There we go, the door's there. Off you go, off you go. Once more into the morass of memories.
Right. Hopefully this one won't be as traumatic for me.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
It'll be traumatic for someone else.
Exactly.
Wrong
Let's
door.
see.
And I'll be there to support them. Because
Alright.
I am this world's ultimate counselor.
And then we go.
Alright.
Where we find...
Hello?
Alright, Joe, get ready.
Yeah. Elisa. Where have you gone? Where have they all gone?
And okay, now we've got a guy who got lost to the Trails of Cold Steel set.
What has become of Allegoria?
So this
Wait
is
a
Dollar right after
minute.
Allegoria. So this is him before, right after Allegoria fell.
Why do I alone remain?
I'm guessing that this game relies on you playing this expansion after the first expansion.
Damn, Trails of Cold Steel had a dark ending.
Was that?
Well, that's the thing, Joe. But I get the feeling I haven't actually tried it myself, but I think when you start a new game with the expansions already added, I think maybe the way this expansion works is all of these memory lanes unlock over the course of the main campaign. But I haven't actually checked.
Just
I'll have to check at some point.
just remind me, the expansions were both free, right?
No. The adventure pack was free, but the paid expansions are the Lost Lord and this one, the Tale of the Timeless Tome.
So in that sense, though, what if somebody bought, like, Tale of the Timeless Tome 1, though, like,
to
without
be fair, these
purchasing the
expansions
Way
have
of the
actual
Lost
look.
World?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, Jova?
Like, what if you ended up buying, like, the second expansion without buying the first one? Then you'd kind of be wondering what they mean by, we've seen this guy before.
Well, remember,
Not
Jova.
really.
Not really, Jova. Remember, we know who Doloran is from playing the main campaign and finishing it.
Yeah.
Oh, son of a... I mixed him up with somebody.
No. The both expansions are perfectly self-contained. You can play either without playing the other, and
However, yes, this does prove that this takes place after the game campaign, though.
Again, I haven't actually tried playing. Go ahead, Taylor. Why not?
Oh, the whole world is no more and the world is at peace. How
Oh, there
long
you
have I
go.
waited for this day?
But yeah, that is a good question then. I mean, can you complete this before completing, like, the actual game campaign, or are you blocked off from this until you've completed the game campaign?
Again, I haven't actually tried a new game since this expansion came out, so I don't know. Maybe one day I'll try it, but right now I'm busy with other stuff.
Ominous choir chanting in the background. What do you think, Lofty?
Theo,
And then turns out it was Lofty doing the choir stuff.
question.
What was that, Evan?
I was just wondering about the choir chanting. Who's playing this, Pedro?
It totally wasn't me singing the choir.
That's okay. I'll be me. Conflicts are still going between the kingdoms despite the ones falling. Could it possibly be the case that he was not the one responsible for all of the world's strife? Basically saying there's still conflict in the world despite the Horned One not being around. So
Yeah. Thank you all for getting out of the way. I couldn't see there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
What I was trying to say, Teo. Remember, did you? I know you bought the Prince edition, aka this. For those who don't know, it's the edition that comes with the season pass. Did you manage to complete the campaign, the main campaign, before the second expansion became available?
I don't remember. What I know is that I did it after I was done with it anyway. So I couldn't check if it. I remember that it was able to start as soon as Evermore had been built at a certain point, and it proves again for the fact that Leander and Bracken don't show up immediately. But I do believe it can be completable only after you're done, considering that alone, what I just mentioned about Bracken and Leander, proves that this quest cares about at what point you are in the game. So the game telling you about the all-around right now will basically imply that you already know these informations.
Well, that's why I'm asking if the game allows you to, because there are some games that do allow you to do that. Not like it would be a deal.
I'm pretty sure this one would not be this careless.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's automatically a case of them being careless. Maybe it's just... Well, okay. I mean, who knows? For all we know, maybe they have an alternate bout of dialogue in case you complete the game campaign.
That doesn't make that much sense, to be honest.
Why not? In case there's somebody who's crazy enough to grind enough to do it, just have an alternate bit of dialogue there just in case. I mean, it helps to be prepared.
I don't know. I haven't actually tried it myself.
Alright, let's kick their asses.
Like we usually do.
Most people got the game before both expansions were out, so I don't think.
I'm sure there's somebody out there who's tried it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there is. It's just that I don't know of anyone. That's what I was about to say. All right. Basic point. Yeah, let's try and see if we can find Doran.
That's weird, though. You'd think Delorme would be one that they would save for last, so who could be even more traumatic than him?
Well, let's think about this. What's the other major character that's been in this game all along? Not in the background, not in the shadows, but what's the other major character that you can think of?
Roland.
Well, yeah, Roland is also going to be one of them, but you're asking about the last one. Like, who do you think is going to be the last one, though?
Not Roland. More traumatic than Delorme. More traumatic than Roland.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be traumatic. Think about which other major characters can you think of that would be?
I don't know, Evan's father.
It could be, but at the same... Well, you're close, but in reverse.
Mazinger?
No, we already had chapter
Evan's
8 for
son.
Mazinger. Very good, Shiroi.
Oh, so time travel.
That's kind of...
Well, remember, he can time travel back into our present.
I guess I didn't really consider a son, seeing as how a son technically doesn't exist in this time.
Yeah, but we established at the end of the main campaign that he can time travel, so you can use time breach, which is this. All right, go ahead, Shiroi, if you don't mind. I think
Yeah.
It was you who revived the Great Blade, was it not?
Oh my
One
god,
star,
we're going
yes.
very fancy on this.
Fortunately
was-
not.
That was meant for someone else. You
No,
little
we have
prick.
some tact over here. Despite Lofty's presence.
Ooh. You mean the sword of unity?
At least I have something, unlike the rest of our party. Ooh.
It is an item of immeasurable importance. You have done us a great service in restoring it to its true form.
You're welcome?
But it didn't belong to you, so, yeah.
Screw you.
Yes.
Wouldn't be the
Took it
first
without
time I've heard that
asking.
in my life.
Can I help you?
Oh,
this is the
snap,
first
is she
time,
talking to you, Roland?
Go ahead. She already, please.
It is nothing less than a miracle that your path and the boys should have crossed.
We get that a lot.
By the way, I'm kind of in a relationship with you, but not really. It's complicated. Soulmate shit.
It's hard to imagine a king and his kingmaker falling in love.
What are you talking about?
Thank you, and sorry from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you for relieving Dalaran of his darkness, and at the same time, thank you for allowing me to say goodbye to him. Oh, and sorry for all the bullshit that Nazca caused as well.
It's
Are we
okay,
cool?
now they can die and be together.
What the flippin' flip was that all about, man?
There you go. See, Lofty? Very Peggy 12 right now.
I think that was the very woman that DeLorean was willing to sacrifice us all for.
Oi, step out of it! Don't just stand there with your gobs open. We got a high Higgledy to find.
Right, very true.
Hmm.
Of course, come on.
Am I the only one that's paying any attention here?
No, I'm paying plenty
Exactly what's going
attention.
on, so I'm not quite sure that's the truth.
I have to be the one to get us all to step out of it.
I have heard rumors of the Philippine Aquarium spell. One that grants eternal youth in exchange for one true blooded to
Not worth it. I played Dark Souls, it's not worth it.
Actually, I thought he was reversed.
Could such a spell possibly exist? And this so Marek will unlike me be able to cast it.
Good
Are you underwater,
question.
dude?
No. I'm trying to sound like a ghost spider, just doing
This is very hard to get my
Usually with ghosts, I tend to make them sound like I've returned the slide.
Eh.
Suffer my curse.
Rumors persist that Lauren, King of Algoria, is still alive and has been searching other dimensions. I find it hard to believe that he could do something so foolish. Everyone knows that once one has entered another dimension, one cannot come back. Ghosts in this realm are weird.
Alright. Please, excuse me. Alright, pardon me. Go. And another ghost. Yeah. Quite a lot of ones over here. I guess I can be this one.
Damn, even in dreams the citizens of Algoria are dead, so...
It is said that time does not pass in other dimensions. It does not pass in other dimensions. Nothing is born, nothing dies. In other words, nothing happens at all.
It's kind of boring.
Sucks.
Hey, stop! Hey, don't turn your back on me. I'm talking to you. Thank you.
The look on your face. You shouldn't believe everything you hear, Haha.
No
Told ya.
kidding.
Trolling ghosts.
Okay, so we've established that in addition to being weird, these ghosts can be just outright rude.
I mean, I know a trolling skeleton, but a trolling ghost, that's,
Let's see. Oh, and here's another one. Tail.
Mm-hmm. Rumor has it been entering other dimensions break the bonds between a person and their soulmate. Even the death of one's fated partner will no longer have an effect.
True, we saw that
Can
in
I
the
have a
first
time,
game.
please?
Yeah. Go to 15:30.
All very interesting, but what about my soulmate? What has become of them now that I found myself in this state?
Yeah, I'm there.
Wait, do we even have a soulmate?
Well, probably did. All right, hold on. And 3, 2, 1, click. Anyway, whoops. Well, since you're back, go ahead.
Who told us to effective while one of their celebrates Sliniful time, it seems. The connection in the symphony passed on to the next generation. That is if the rules are true, of course. But once and always, we will never know for sure and stop looking around. How can one hope to prove something like that after a moment?
I don't know, how about a mass genocide?
That sounds a
Okay,
bit
Evan.
serious.
Alright, Evan, we've got to do something about some of these ghosts, man. I can barely hear what they're saying.
I can understand them, although some seem to be messing with us.
It's simple. It's simple, Lofty. Just read the subtitle.
What are subtitles?
Oh, it's this handy little creation that allows people to read while they watch something.
Oh, good. I'd be finally able to understand Evan's handwriting.
I don't think they make subtitles for handwriting.
Reminds me one of the final beats of the Unfinished Swan, where the narrator, who's voiced by Terry Gilliam, by the way, at some point he's like, because it's near the tail end of the game, he's like, and then the credits started appearing, and another character is like, wait, your recollection is credits? And yes, and subtitles too.
We rebel in conflict, in black sentiment, which wells in the heart. It feeds us, grants us strength to blacken new hearts. I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you to kill over when we beat you, that's what.
Right? Oh. He's charging his ultra mega attack.
Got it!
There you go. And but no, yeah. But yeah, like I was saying before, it's abundantly clear from stuff like the wacky hijinks of Layton that very clearly are reminiscent of Lupin, and the half human, half cat people. It's abundantly clear that he knows they grew up with watching 80s anime. There you go. Almost done.
He literally drives around on his feet like they're cars, wheels.
Yep. What 80s anime have you watched, Pedro? Outside of Studio Ghibli, of course.
Plenty.
Is that one? Okay, like what?
Yarase Yatsura.
Okay.
A lot of other.
Lupin?
Lupin the Third.
Definitely Lupin the Third. Oh, I'm sorry. We were still going on with me. It sounded like you're going with one per person.
All right. Let's continue.
Okay. Start of this part.
Next section. Let's go with that. Hey, look, Allegoria.
This is Allegoria, isn't it?
So there you go. Definitely confirm. Go ahead, too.
Hey, it's them.
All right, go ahead, Chirian, too.
Mm-hmm.
What is it, Delorean?
I have been stuck on this mountain edge for years and haven't been able to walk from this spot since. Could you give me a helping hand, please?
Lisa, I would speak with you of something important.
All right, shoot.
He really doesn't know how to walk off this hill.
Yeah, I'm afraid to
He's been
move.
standing up here so long he actually forgot.
I think he's pondering how much God hates him for giving him, like, the only kingmaker who you can potentially fall in love with without being considered a bestiality freak.
It still is in universe. Anyway, it is a private matter. Meet with me at the King's Cradle.
Oh my god, I've been
I
able
will
to
make
move.
my way there now. Promise you will come quickly.
I wonder what it is. All right, all right. It's in this specific section of the memory lane that we're going to finally get the confirmation about 3 specific citizens that we have in our kingdom.
This must be a memory Alexandra and Doldren shared, which means this memory lane is taking us pretty far back in time.
You don't say.
I'm.
Which means we get to see what Allegoria was like before it was destroyed. Let's go and have a look around. It's like we're on a vacation.
Cheeseball, keep ruining the atmosphere and I'll kick you.
Well, play.
He'll kick you down these stairs.
Yes.
Ask Lofty's character designer and the animators.
Yoshiyuki Momose,
Yeah. He sure likes to glop around.
aka the legend behind the Studio Ghibli art style.
Ah, Allegoria back in its prime. Monsters roaming around everywhere. What a great spot. King Doran is certainly a mighty wizard, but his lack of charisma concerns me.
Yeah, I know, right? Every time I heard him, I kept wanting to fall asleep. But that would mean that after I woke up, he'd still be talking.
Remember Dolan's backstory in the main campaign revealed that he was conceited and arrogant, which means, of course, probably there weren't that many fans of him among the subjects.
Yeah,
Maybe if he had something to show for it, but oh wait, that's right, his decisions led to Allegoria getting messed up. Great job, Delorean, great job.
Clap, clap.
Yeah, have
Anyway.
this one clap.
The old king was full of drive and ambition. King Dalaran is blessed with his mother's ability to accept things as they are.
That's the nicest thing you can say about the guy. Rowan, why are you jumping?
Rowan, why are you jumping?
Rowan! Please! Now
Stretching is important.
Now you're the one ruining the mood.
Not while someone's talking.
Dalaran for a moment thought he wasn't a platformer.
Don't you mean Rowan?
Roland, didn't I say Roland?
You said Delorean.
Well, anagrams.
See, Pedro, this is why the original name was better in that sense. You could distinguish them better.
Tom Marvolo Riddle, aka I am Lord Voldemort. How lucky I am to have just those
Look who it is. Go ahead, too.
Well, I'll be...
Becca.
King Doldrun spends every minute of the day staring at Alexandra. I'm not exaggerating, every single minute.
That's creepy. I don't stare at Lofty that much.
I asked him about it. He simply replied that he was captivated by her elegance and beauty, which is all very well, but what about his duties?
So basically, this king was more concerned with getting laid than actually...
Still, I suppose it's better to have a king that gets along with his kingmaker. We all know what happened to his predecessor. Actually, we don't know that. Can you please tell us?
Isn't that
That's
like...
an implication. That's an implication. Apparently, Deca's implied that apparently his father, Dolaran's father, didn't get along with his kingmaker, it seems.
So, let's see. So, Guy falls in love with his kingmaker. Isn't that like the equivalent of someone falling in love with his avatar in an MMO? Well, his or her avatar in an MMO.
Not necessarily,
Not
Jova.
necessarily. I think a better analogy would be...
It'd be more like them falling in love with their dog.
Hey, look, it's Centauri. It seems Alessandra has adopted a human form in order to better observe the kingdom from King Dalaran's perspective.
I knew that was a girl.
Well, yeah, we already. Maintaining that form, however, seems to be proving rather more difficult than she had imagined. After all, it involves restoring her old self, the one that
Oh?
existed before she became a kingmaker.
Where did
Oh?
Leander wander off to?
Basically, well, don't worry, Joe. We're actually going to elaborate upon what kingmakers are before they become kingmakers. Actually, specifically with Lofty's backstory.
I have a backstory now.
Yes, you
Hey,
will.
look, it's Melania.
Millennium,
Go ahead, Shira.
Oh my.
And she's technical officer number 1,000, of course.
Oh, no.
Deca was number 10
No.
and Sentry number 100.
Well, no
so-
wonder Millennia has such a. Oh, wait, I get it. Number 1,000, Millennia. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder she has such a superior complex.
I have heard that people from other lands consider our kingmaker a potential force for immeasurable evil.
Oh, I'm going to get a lot of mileage out of this the next time she tries to hang one over me.
The power is beyond measure, and that is certainly true. But to suggest that it might be used for ill...
Ill, yeah.
Yeah, I said that.
Was it?
It-
Okay.
Yeah, she said
okay,
that.
never mind, yeah. Okay, then.
It might
Like
be
ill
used
will.
for Isle.
Like... Yeah, I'll... There isn't an apostrophe, though.
So there we go. Now we have finally the confirmation where these 3 specific citizens come from.
I think Single is also here. Or,
Yeah. Don't worry, Tay, I'll show them as well.
Oh, okay. Then.
They
Yeah,
will
that's
pay
right,
the
you're
price
right.
for their influence. One day, they will bow down before her and all.
Wow.
Never mind. Teo's right. It's 4 citizens, not 3. He's right. I forgot about Single.
So that explains Millennia's superiority complex in spades.
In general, Java, remember, Allegoria was a powerful kingdom, so of course, superior knowledge and all.
Well, not only that, but I wonder if maybe her ranking got to her.
Possible.
I mean, number 1,000, that is kind of a bit low on the list.
Again, fortunately, the map has blue dots indicating where the NPCs are. So if you don't want to search for yourself, you can just check the map for the exact specific place where they are to make it easy on yourself. And that's what I'm doing exactly right now, actually.
What will I find here? Oh, I guess I won't know what that item is.
There he is. Go ahead, Joe.
Hold on. Allegoria is a mighty kingdom, far superior to any other in the region. It is home to the mightiest kingmaker, the most advanced magic, and the most virtuous citizen. What could possibly go wrong?
Wait.
If it has one weakness, it is that the continent on which it stands is rather small. One can only imagine what heights our beloved realm might reach if it had access to all the resources in Automnia.
You're telling me
well,
the
what you
freeloader was number 1 back
Number
in
one's
the...
crime.
I'm sorry. He was a freeloader, and yet he was number 1 back in the day.
Well, Joe, maybe that's why people didn't like how Doloran run the kingdom.
Also Bard, Jova, remember.
Number 1, though. Like, I get Millennia has a superiority complex, but geez, now I kind of feel sorry for her.
Okay, so yeah, the next monster is weak to fire. Alright, that should be easy.
I think it's
Okay,
a
then.
nightmare.
Alright, everyone, I'll tell the monster. Hey, monster, you're fired!
Yeah, here we go.
I don't think that's going to work, Lofty.
But you said he's weak to fire.
Yes, but telling them they're fired just tends to make them angry, and more powerful in a sense.
Shira, please.
Doloran, wait.
No.
Okay, thanks.
Fuck this shit.
You will never
be
be reunited. Never.
God damn, these nightmares are fucking dicks.
I guess that's their job.
So rude.
Your crimes are too deep, too dire.
My crime?
Your crimes against nature, unholy relationships, and the like.
That's actually it, yes.
Lord knows you fueled DeviantArt much too far with it. I brought you into this world, now I'll have to take you out for that.
Huh. Teo, I'm guessing from your perspective right now, the nightmares aren't looking so bad right now.
Don't get me political. This game doesn't need you at this point.
No way,
No,
you can't give
This
up.
game has a monarchy.
Well, that's not what I was referring, but I'll say
Okay.
out commentary.
Yeah. You.
Yeah, it's me. We found these knives and forks, and they led us here. Don't you see?
We found
Your
these
kingdom is
knives.
the best for dining.
Those belong to Deloran and myself.
Yes, for those wonderful
like a yes.
candlelit dinners you had. At least I'm guessing that's why there are forks and knives.
They were for stabbing shadow demons, but such happy
sense.
memories. The
BRB.
long, happy days spent together.
Don't let that horrible creature get to you! Meddlers, interferers, deviants. We'll handle the monster. You use the time to think things over. Yes, just go over there and think in the corner while we go and fight him. Meddlers, interferers, conductors, puny pets, minions of DeviantArt, you will die.
Wait a minute. How am I supposed to think if there's all this noise going on?
Just use your inner monologue. Fury begets power, even our own fury.
I'll tear myself think.
Well, try harder. Meanwhile, we're risking life and limb for the sake of you being able to think. And he's
Also, this track
charging
also
elsewhere.
sounds familiar, Jova.
Yes, it does.
It's one of Shadar's battle themes.
But of course,
You're
you
not
won't
so
catch me. Not when I shift into maximum overdrive with my prance.
Jesus.
I knew I should
Jesus
have.
Christ.
I knew I should have gotten the
Evan
turbo.
unleashes- And
The
Evan
wizard's
unleashes
companion
his,
is your friend.
and Evan unleashes his fuck you spell.
Courtesy of DeviantArt.
Alright.
No.
And that was the end. Alright.
And that's the
And our high Higgledy is
Limerick.
Limerick
Limerick
the
the
Loving.
loving.
the
I
Higgledy of love.
see. So you're the high Higgledy of love. Oh, now I get it.
Yeah, I've already thinking that.
Well, those bits are the Higgledies are actually voiced, so whatever. Anyway, Alessandra, Kingmaker of Allegoria, went to King's Cradle, just as Dalrun had asked.
For some private time.
He thanked her for acceding to his request, but something in his manner was strangely nervous.
How does one propose to a kingmaker?
Trova, don't mind.
What is it, Delorean?
Alessandra asked softly, hoping to put him at his ease.
Please, if there is something you would say to me, say it. If there is something you would ask of me, ask it.
Hold on, just
Okay,
give him a moment.
then,
It's not-
Why aren't I looking at you?
You're nervous,
Well,
I can sense.
He feels awkward.
Yeah, sweaty hands.
Again,
are
how do
you.
you propose to a kingmaker? He's probably thinking.
Yeah.
This is no mere consultation. It is far more than that.
So saying, he took several deep breaths before finally continuing.
Oh my.
Alisa, I love you.
Finally, he uttered the words that had weighed heavy on his heart for so long.
Tolerance, handsome face.
And then the secret police that were hidden behind the hill arrested him for being
FBI, open up! I love you, dear Kingmaker. I love my country also. Nothing could make me happier than I'm leading Allegoria to glory together.
A kingmaker
Put your
being the
hands up and get away
queen.
from Deviant.
Yeah,
Oh,
how many
boy.
people do you think are going to be grossed out by that?
Well, the webs of the gods were, as Elise hesitated for only the briefest moment before replying.
I love you, too.
I mean, I can understand why. It's icky.
Her pleasure at his words had been immeasurable, for she really did love him, more deeply and
Oh!
truly than she had ever thought possible.
How lovely.
Oh my.
But she could not share in his happiness completely.
Yeah, she's a freaking dragon. It can't work.
Well, she can turn humanoid. The memory of the countless kings before him cast a shadow over her heart, for each had left his world in the end, as all men must. Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, she's
isn't
immortal and he's not. Yeah.
Isn't Corin in Fire Emblem part dragon as well?
True.
The vast gulf between king and kingmaker could not weigh on her mind.
I'll tell you later, because it's a bit more than that.
One day, Dalaran too would come to the end of his life. One day, they too must part.
Long story short, Corin can turn into a dragon.
But oh, how she loved him. And yet that boundless love would only turn to pain when the time to say goodbye came at last.
So kingmakers are immortal. Huh.
Well, they kind of need to be.
Well,
Yeah.
I always just kind of assume that, oh yeah, now that I think about it, yeah. I guess...
They are God's emissaries in that kind of sense.
I guess to be
like-
fair, a kingmaker would only come to be if a new kingdom was made as opposed to dying with the king.
I was about to say, I'm guessing that's what you assumed.
But these were the ancient times, and to have another take her place would require that their life be sacrificed. There you go.
Oh.
She could not allow another to give their life for the sake of... In order for someone to give up being a kingmaker, another one must take that place instead. And she could not entrust a mere mortal with the terrible power over which she had command. It was pondering this quandary that she came upon an idea. Perhaps there might be another way to leave Allegoria with a kingmaker.
I mean...
Kidnap them and force them to take their place.
Wouldn't it kind of be weird, you know, if you're...
It's a shame Lofty didn't find her during this period.
Oh, God.
right, Teo?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps she might be able to split her heart in two. And so she tried with all her might to separate the part of her that was Alessandra from the part that was the guardian of the realm. So basically she tried to separate herself into two bodies.
Yeah,
She tried to go like Kami in Dragon Ball. Because it works so well with Kami in Dragon Ball.
And she succeeded, if such may be called success. That was, however, one part of herself that she found could not split in two. Her love for Dalaran.
Well, crud.
Gods are not pleased with you, Alessandra.
She looks like Lunalala.
We will curse you into the form of a beast. But
There's
alas,
always one.
She was unable to stop what she had hatred, and the part of herself she had split off from her the rest soon mutated into a twisted being into its own right. The horned one. So there you go. The whole reason the Horned One exists to begin with was because of the love Alessandra has for Dalaran. That's it. That makes it kind of tragic.
You done screwed it up!
A nightmarish monstrosity, lacking anything that could be called a soul, duly ran amok.
Fucked everything up.
The great godlike power Alessandra had so feared granting to another had been unleashed nonetheless, and Allegoria had been doomed in that process.
All because of an icky romance. Damn,
I mean,
that really
I
is
just have...
tragic.
There you go. That's exactly the thing. It's a very typical trope in romance novels of the forbidden love.
You
It's
know,
just a love story. A love story that kills the entire kingdom.
Two people that fall in love, and yet the entire society around them tells them that they're not allowed to.
You know, I gotta wonder, though, if you fell in love with your kingmaker, wouldn't that be awkward, seeing as how you could technically give orders to your loved one that they would not be able to refuse because they're your kingmaker?
The implications are boundless.
Joe, but separating personal life from professional life, it's very easy.
I'm just saying.
Having lost his kingdom and his beloved Alessandra in one fell swoop, he desperately set about making him easy. By the way, if you go back and check the credits, one of the screenshots in the credits is Roland watching a map exactly like this, so nice parallel there. But he did not even know what the Horned One truly was, much less what had given rise to the creature. Yes, that's another thing. Yeah, little did he know that it was his love for Alessandra that did it. And so he turned to the ancient writings to learn more of the Kingmakers and how they came to be. There he learned that they had been created by Zion, god of gods.
Of course, it's a god of gods.
We also get some backstory on how the Kingmakers work. Yeah. In the old times, Zion and the lesser gods, his children, had ruled over all creation, but having passed that power to kings and their kingmakers, Zion stepped back from the world. So basically kind of like the Maker from Final Fantasy XIII, except this is not stupid.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Or
going to say the
the
goddess.
kingmakers are not actively trying to be stupid.
Here we go.
I see now. It is forbidden for a king to love his kingmaker.
Gee, how long did it take for you to figure that
Well,
out?
Dalaran cursed himself. Well, dudes, he didn't think it was because of the bestiality angle that you're implying. He just...
I am thinking of the attempt to disrupt the balance I heard so carefully created.
But though he had convinced himself of his crime against creation...
Damn you liberalism!
Still, but yeah, even though he convinced himself of his crime against creation, he still could not forget her. And thus was born his plan to steal the other ruler's king's bonds and use them to bend the Horned One to his will, in the hope that he might release his beloved from her prison.
Let's see.
Fuck you, gods! I will love whoever I...
Let's see. Let's see. I know I screwed up, but I'm gonna do it some more.
Oh, this is important, Jova. Years passed, decades, centuries. There you go, Jova. There's your confirmation that kingmakers are eternal. Then one day, from her prison beyond the world, Alexandra noticed a strange light. Notice that missile? That's not... That looks
It
familiar,
was like
doesn't
a
it?
firework.
A flashing, violent line of light. A light that cleft the places between the worlds. So there you go. Because of the strength of the missile, it opened a rift in the interdimensional space. Beyond, she glimpsed the one that had been separated from for so long ago. The one she had loved so fiercely. She reached out to her. Well, it wasn't him, but it was his soulmate. So I can see why you're confused.
And then,
Yeah,
and she got
obviously.
blown up by the missile.
And what happened next? We'll have to wait for another story.
I think we already know what happened next.
We'll continue this in the next part, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
She broke up with him for being a stupid bellend.
Aside from that.
Wow.
Dwebs. But love makes us do stupid things.
Not just that, Jova. Jova.
Love makes you blind and
My
stupid.
love caused the world untold
Actually, no.
heartache.
Oh, come on, Dwebs. They were punished enough. They don't need any more. Come on.
No, what I was saying, Jova, when you think about it, this is kind of the same thing that happens between Rage and Shalbo. Yeah, I did find it creepy when it was mentioned there too.
Huh, how about that?
Shiroi, I think I've specified this for you.
Wait,
Yeah.
is it me again? I
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah.
Well, you were always Alexandra. It's just that I use Jova for the story part.
For the flashback, yeah.
Yeah.
But I cannot change what has already passed. Not least because I no longer exist.
Well, that's not quite...
Shut up, I'm talking.
But my love can live on in another form.
The Higgledy.
I guess since we killed him and all that...
Well, the Higgledy was born of her love for Dalaran, so yeah, it does live on. And
it is a Higgledy of light, so it's not even like a representation. It showcases how the love was genuine, pure.
we don't choose who we love, Dwebs. Anyway, go ahead, Shiroi.
Perhaps he will go some way towards atoning for my sins. You will take him with you?
Sure.
Yes, of course, but...
Shut up, Evan.
I was talking still.
But it's illegal. You are the chosen ones, the saviors. Far greater trials than this await you.
You don't say.
Yes, the Solazim slog is quite tough, so getting that golden trophy will be very, very, very hard. So
Get good.
yeah,
Well, we defeated you, so I guess so.
oh, trust me, I'm nothing compared to the Solazim slog.
Allow me to pray for you. To pray that the ones who saved my dear Dolaran from himself will always be blessed.
I suppose you and him can now be in the afterlife together. That's that.
Go ahead.
That's some consultation.
Oh, it's like how Earth gets to be with her boyfriend these days.
At least they're humans.
Oh,
Sure.
right.
Sure. And that your Kingmaker will continue to watch over your realm forevermore.
You got no worries on that front. Man.
I promise I will not fall in love with him.
I don't think-
Evan,
I don't-
I'm not really interested.
Exactly.
I don't think Evan is either.
Don't worry.
And
we
I
already
want it
used
to
that
stay that
storyline,
way.
So no, that won't happen. We already used that storyline with Dalaran and Alessandra. Welcome back, everybody.
That was
Yeah, I think
weird.
it's about now we're about to hear Lofty's backstory.
Is that another high Higgledy I spy?
Yep.
Lofty, You've never told us how or why you became a kingmaker, have you?
After seeing that, I don't think I
Alright,
want to
Joel,
tell
this
anyone I'm a
is
kingmaker.
how the interdimensional thing
Alright,
gets
Pips, the stage is yours.
Our latest little adventure got you wondering, has it? Well, I'm from a little village of little creatures called fairies, see? And before I was even born, they made a law that we weren't allowed to go making contact with humans, for obvious reasons. But I heard loads about them from the boss of the village, see? Fascinated I was.
So there you go. The fairy ground does exist in this, Kuni. It's just that apparently they're not allowed to go meet humans.
Actually, hold on.
heard
Let
was
him
that
go.
some
Actually, I had a
humans
different
made
theory in mind.
magical creatures to protect their kingdoms. Starry-eyed little me was proper taken with that one.
Huh.
So there you go. Lofty literally went on a journey to become the best there ever was.
So I told the boss I was off to become one, and we had a massive row. Then I ran off all petulant like.
So basically, Lofty renounced his fairy heritage.
I guess
So
the
he yelled
reason-
at his mom and ran away.
That was very assertive of you. Was the reason they denied contact with humans because they saw the movie Pan?
Well, Shira, knowing Lofty, he probably was incredibly rude and very...
So what?
Well, he said it himself, petulant.
And eventually I sniffed out the Kingswood. I followed it as far as it went, and ended up at the Cradle of Light.
That cradle where we got Lofty, yeah.
Only problem was, I went and made the trial of knowledge so flippin' difficult, no one could pass the flippin' thing.
Until I came about.
What?
So, the story from the trial was one you made up?
Oh, crikey, no, not me, man. The old boss of the village. I'd be in deep trouble if I went claiming that little lumber for
I
me.
wonder who that is.
I wonder indeed.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know if it's the Drippy that we know.
My theory was that the fairy ground from Lofty came from is from the Kuni of the first, but the cradle where the kingmakers get formed, eventually get released, is a sort of interdimensional pocket, meaning that it's like a space
which
between
means the god of
spaces.
That would
which
explain
means
a
the god of
lot.
gods didn't choose to make you one. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Jules. Dwebs, you missed your line. Well,
I'm
we've
so
learned a
sorry.
good deal about your old friend Lofty that we didn't know before. But it's time to move on. The point is,
Well, you guys were talking, and I wouldn't be able to finish the line.
Fair enough.
well, whatever. The point is, the conductor was all like, "Oh, and because of persistence, Zion decided to make you into a kingmaker." Well, they can. Well, both yours and mine theory can both be true.
Yeah.
I see
it's just
multiple ways that this could have
What
occurred.
makes me think of that are the two things. The fact that three things. One, there is technically no fairy ground here, so the closest thing to imagine is that there was one in the ancient past, and Lofty really is from an ancient time, and nowadays the fairies are extinct. Oh yeah, next time I think it's Roland.
It seems to be
I'll
related.
say later.
Well, considering the ending of this part storyline tale, that's kind of I used to guess. It must seems to be related to my having had to hide out near Evermore.
I
There was
see.
an awful lot of people here with memories of that part of the world, I suppose.
I
Yes,
see quite a
Jova?
few possibilities here. Like
Hold on, I'll finish explaining after we're done here.
And where? Oh, sorry.
that's right.
It was seen by a man with black hair when he stared into a mirror. I think you
Yeah.
got it already, haven't you?
Oh, this one's
No,
easy.
not a clue.
Are you sure about that, Ronan?
Absolutely. Move on.
Now, off you go and get hunting. I can't wait to see our next key.
Anyway, going back to what I was saying, I see multiple possibilities here. One of which being that maybe the events of the first Neo Kuni did happen, but in a different way in this universe, maybe with slight
Oh, yeah, it
differences.
did.
Or, like Tio's predictions say, maybe Lofty
Well,
originally
okay,
came from
again, what makes me
fairies
think
in the
that
same
are the
village.
fact that, one, there's no fairy ground here, so it's possible also, though, that it was from an ancient time. Two, the way that the story of the trial is told, it's similar to the one, as we remember, it's similar to the one of the first game, but it has its differences. So
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
that's
either
pretty much my
interpret that
theory.
as Lofty remembered it just in his own way, and he was done it. Third, the dialogue Ben mentions here kind of implies that eventually Mr. Drippy became eventually the leader of the Fairy Ground. So I do want, especially considering how this particular DLC serves to do some fan service towards the first game. But again, just a theory, a game theory.
Please, no.
So, yeah, everybody. So, next time we'll continue where the game left off with Roland's little side story. So, see you then.
See ya.
See ya.
See